Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you wanna end a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level? Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels when it's game time. Like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
What's going on out there, War Room fam? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm in the building with my brother, B. Austin. Jimmy the Blueprint is scheduled to join us in a few minutes. Look, man, we are simultaneously engulfed in the madness of March with the NCAA tournament underway, which tipped off earlier today, and the frenzy of NFL free agency, which officially kicked off at 4 p.m. yesterday. So just in a few moments, War Room sports writer Gus Griffin is going to join us to give a few betting tips on some first-round tournament games and to discuss his latest piece on the potential abolishment of the automatic bid in the NCAA tournament. So settle in, keep it locked right here. And to get in on the conversations, make sure you join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room. That's blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 15 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That number, as usual, is 323-410-0012. One last thing before we get it popping, make sure during the week when we're not live on the air that you check out archive episodes of our show at warroomsports.com, the War Room Sports mobile app, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, and most other places you do your podcast listening. What up, B? What's going on, man?
Look. What's on, my youth? Everything crisp?
First and foremost, according to a whole lot of people on social media, we lost 2 legends this week. 1 in Stephen Hawking, and 2 in the form of Craig Mack. You became a legend. All you got to do is die, and you're legendary. Thoughts? Is Craig a legend?
I'm just going to say, man, Stephen Hawking, you got to pick up some of his book and get to reading, and you'll look at outer space in a whole nother light, man. Plus, he was a pretty good dude. Couldn't stand to look at him too closely, but he was a pretty good dude. Craig Mack, 1,000 degrees.
Couldn't look at him either.
Burning, begging, please. Because of my age and how I grew up, while conventional wisdom tells me Craig Mack is nobody's legend, that one song means so much to me that the song damn sure is legendary, even if it was the remix and everybody else's verse. So we'll give him a legendary salute, man. Craig Mack, rest in power.
No, definitely salute. I mean, he was one of the artists who helped kick off, one of the greatest hip-hop conglomerates of our time, Bad Boy Records.
Yes, sir.
Big Mac was their first campaign with Biggie on one side, Craig Mack on the B side. I mean, you know how they did that.
Yeah.
But, the fact that the homie had like 2 hits and really one that most people can name, just because a homie dies, we can't just be calling people legendary. But shout out to him.
You said you said 2 hits. I was like, where the other one? The remix?
Remember, Can I Get Down? That was kind of,
it wasn't
down? Flavor.
Come on.
Yeah, it wasn't flavor in your ear level hit, but
only we were listening to that. Like the rest of the world wasn't really listening to that, brother.
Plus, most of the time, not all of the time, because there have been some, hot rappers who had this happen, who's done this. But most of the time, when you have a semi-hit song and they remix it and put a bunch of other people on it, they're actually trying to tell you something. They're trying to tell you that the only thing carrying this hit is this beat, and we got a whole lot of other hot rappers who want to actually jump on this beat and do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to let them do this because this is going to be way more memorable than what you did. So, that's I think that's what happened to my man.
I think Craig Mack's career went the same way as Sam I Am's career to a higher degree.
Explain.
Well, I feel as though if Sam I Am had Joe Dumars' smile, no homo, I think that he would have made a few more All-Star bids and maybe even some All-NBA. But because he looked like he did, he was completely unmarketable.
So
and Craig
they wouldn't
Mack,
let him get down, get on down.
Get out. And Craig Mack, his face looked like the underside of a crater sitting down. And I don't even know how a crater sits down, but that's what it looked like. So he was unmarketable. He didn't have the personality. The one thing you could say about Big, even though he could look in two different directions at one time, his personality and charisma was such that he commanded, like he had a certain charisma about him that was sellable, that made him marketable. Craig Mack didn't have no personality, and his face was pizza, was pepperoni pizza-ish, so there wasn't nothing there.
Well,
even if he could spit.
Well, and also, Big, he owned that. You know what I'm saying? Big, that was a part of his charisma. He told you he was ugly. He rapped about being ugly. So
Black and ugly as ever. However,
I don't know if Sam didn't have thin skin, but he didn't own that. You never heard him talk about it. He just said, well, I'm supposed to get mad at that. But other than that, he didn't. he didn't do much.
Or Gollum.
I
honestly, maybe I've tricked myself into believing that because he's one of my favorite players, but I honestly believe if you switched heads and put Jim Jackson's head on Sam Cassell's body, Sam Cassell would have had at least 4 or 5 All-Star bids. That's my feeling.
Do you think you look more like E.T. or Gollum?
Am I supposed to get mad about that? Am I supposed to get mad about that?
What
Sam, you are awesome.
Sam.
Thank you.
You're supposed to get mad about that, Sam. You're supposed to put hands on him, Sam. All right, so let's get everything started because I know we got Gus waiting on the line to talk about this NCAA tournament real quick. And he will be a part of our Hot Topics segment. Hot Topics are brought to you by Sports the Book. If you guys tired of reading the same old sports books with the same lists, rankings, imaginary starting lineups, we pitting people against each other from different eras and using all sorts of subjective information and passing them off as facts. Well, be sure to pick up your copy of Sports. Smart People Only Read the Sports, written by War Room Sports' very own Jimmy the Blueprint Williams. It's a mixture of sports and hip-hop culture to keep you on the edge of your seat and laughing like you were watching a comedy special on Netflix. Shout out to Netflix. Cut the check. We'll take the $500. Just go to sportsthebook.com and get your copy from our website at warroomsports.com. But whatever you do, just make sure you don't miss that movement. So, on the line, we have War Room Sports writer and handicapper Gus Griffin. Talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament. Gus, what's going on, good brother?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing, man? That Sam Cassell piece, I'm still rapping about that.
I'm supposed to get mad about that?
No, for real, man. If he didn't look like that, he'd have been a perennial All-Star, man. Fringe, like at least 5 times.
Hey, Sam was one of the underrated players of those Houston teams that won back-to-back titles. He was money. He was money. And you might have a point as far as that Jimmy Jackson thing. I remember once some years ago, Howard Cosell made a comment about Willie McGee, the 85 MVP in baseball. He said, he bears a striking resemblance to E.T.
Yo. All right, Gus. Now watch this. I'm gonna get that. All right, who is better, Chauncey Billups or Sam Cassell?
Sam.
Wow. That's
Chauncey had 5 All-Star. Chauncey had 5 All-Star appearances.
Chauncey was.
Let's put it this way. Chauncey won 5. I mean, and Sam never made an All-Star game.
Yeah, 1. He made 1.
Okay. Chauncey won 4 All-Star games better than Sam. I'll put it that way.
I mean, Chauncey was the Finals MVP, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I think
he played on a team where it was difficult to award it to somebody, so they're like, we gotta give it to somebody. Let's give it to Chauncey.
And Chauncey first got the league. He his first couple weeks in the league, he's supposed to be a problem. Back when he got drafted, like Chauncey was, before he became
he was supposed to be. As good as his legacy is,
close to being a watch though.
Right. I don't think as good as his legacy will be for everybody, I still don't think Chauncey lived up to what he was supposed to be when he got drafted.
Oh, I don't.
But nobody else
was like what? He was
that.
top 5 pick, wasn't he?
They're going to see the accolades and champion, Finals MVP, All-Star. I mean, he's kind of. I think that Pistons team, they ran into that Golden State type situation where the team was winning so much in the conference, and everybody was probably on equal footing. Let's just put all of them in the All-Star game, whatever. But that's B's, man. So I mean, I'm not dissing Chauncey. He was good, but I think a little bit overrated. Maybe acting like Chauncey is like the consummate floor general at like 5 assists per game. Anyway.
Yeah. Hey.
Anyway, Gus. All right. So before we even get some of your investment picks, let us know what's your Final Four looking like, and in this early stages, I sure hope that it's still intact.
Yeah, it is. Initially I was on Cincinnati, but I switched to Arizona, so I got Arizona, Michigan, Michigan State, Villanova, with Sparty, Michigan State coming out on top.
Okay, Michigan State with another national championship. I hear you.
This is the year where, I mean, there's no great teams. There's several good teams. This is the year where, one of them can just kind of come out and get it. There's several of them who have a chance. It kind of makes me so much angrier that Maryland isn't in the mix, because this is the year you can get one,
Right.
You can luck up. Maryland can luck up on something.
They got to be in it first. They got to be in it to win it.
You can get one.
All right, so let's get some of your picks, because I did also want to ask you about your latest article for War Room Sports. So the first game that you're going to pick, who is this? I just got your picks kind of late, so you're going to have to help me out here. I'm looking at the bracket.
VT -2?
Yeah. Okay, so -2, who are they playing? That's what I'm trying
Alabama.
Alabama, right? The 8-9 matchup. I'm sorry. All right, so Virginia Tech -2. What's your thoughts on that one?
They historically, Virginia Tech, along with Missouri and Arkansas, they can beat anybody at home and then lose anybody on the road. But this year they showed a little ability to win on the road, including, of course, winning at Virginia. So I'm going to edge them just on this one. Alabama's they're a decent team. They actually beat Auburn this year, which you would think it was a football thing. But so I'm going to go with Virginia Tech, though.
Okay, and then you got on the other side, you got Houston. Houston getting 4 in the 6-11 matchup against San Diego State. So Houston, -4. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Houston -4. Very dangerous team. Very dangerous team from an underrated conference, the American Conference, and I think some of that is just with Connecticut being in such a down spiral. But Wichita State, Houston, it's a very dangerous game, dangerous team there. San Diego State, they got a decent team, but I just don't trust that conference compared to what Houston's coming from. So I'm going with Houston.
Okay. And we got in the 3 seed Michigan -10 versus number 14 seed Montana.
Yeah, they might win by 20. I don't need to say much more. Montana's not that good.
Easy cover on that.
Yeah, I think they're
pretty easy. Okay, yeah. I don't think anybody out there is going to disagree with that one. Then we got the 4 seed Arizona -9 versus 13 seed Buffalo.
Yeah, they might win by 18.
Not 20, just 18.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
they might.
Because these are games. I mean, people look for the upsets in NCAA tournament, but especially these last 2 games that we just talked about, I personally don't think that's where any of the upsets are going to come. So I agree with that as well.
Part of the excitement is the upsets are part of the excitement. So people overthink it, they overreach it. But if you look at the lines themselves, even Loyola. Now I had Loyola, and if you follow it all year long, you look at that line, they were only 1.5 point underdogs. So people who follow this stuff, they knew that wasn't okay. Miami's going to be in trouble there. That's going to be a tough game for them. So,
right. All right. So now we have the 10 seed Providence +1.5 versus 7 seed Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's a good game. Providence was, when I initially thought of it, Providence was 3-point underdog. So the money's been going on Providence. Texas A&M is a good team, but again, the Big East, it's still a very good conference. People can't get over Syracuse leaving and the teams that used to be in and all that. It's still a very good conference, as evidence having 2 number 1 seeds. So I see Providence winning that outright.
Okay. All right, and then you got St. Bonaventure, who is an 11 seed, +6 versus 6 seed Florida.
They're from the A-10. Again, one of those conferences doesn't get a lot of attention, but they have some good basketball there. Florida very up and down all year long. And so I see St. Bonaventure covering that 6, and I also actually think that they're going to win that game.
So there's your upset special right there. St. Bonaventure over Florida.
There's the upset. That's what they listening for, Gus.
All right, now, if you guys follow our website, worldroomsports.com, you'll see plenty of articles written by Gus, especially. The latest was actually about the NCAA tournament and the proposed abolishment of the automatic bid. Now, you wrote a piece on that, and there have been a lot of pundits who are for, getting rid of the automatic bid because the thought is it doesn't allow the best 64 teams into the field. Because certain conferences are just getting automatic bids. So you may have a conference where a team has a losing record, but if they win and end up winning their conference tournament, then they're automatically in. And a lot of people over the years have thought that that's really not a fair way to get into what's supposed to be the elite tournament in college basketball. Now,
no more affirmative action.
Right. But you put a twist on it that had something to do with HBCUs. And, all 4 of us here on the air are graduates of HBCUs. So just give everybody your brief thoughts on the automatic bid, what you think should happen with it, and how you tied it to, the HBCUs and the impact that it has on those schools.
Well, if you look at it just in terms of just a pure sort of Darwinian competitive piece, sure, automatic bids are going to put teams in that aren't as good as some teams that don't get in. Now, and obviously that's something that you'd be concerned about, but the alternative is to go to the football situation, basically, and then what we would have is, as an HBCU can be as good as, let's say, Central Florida was this past year and have not an inkling of getting a chance to win the whole title. That's not fair either. I would argue that that's more unfair, if that's a term, than the current situation. Right now we have the automatic bid and 3 MEAC teams, Coppin State in 97, Hampton in 01, and Norfolk State a couple of years ago. 3 MEAC teams have actually won from a 15 seed. So it's not as if, at least as far as the MEAC goes, it's not as if that 3 of the 8 15 teams have won. So it's not as if they haven't had any success. And they all got put out in the next round. So it's not as if you're having a team take a spot that really is, a legitimate shot at maybe winning the whole thing. What you are doing is including teams that have historically been kept out of the big money pot in the money pot. You're talking about a money pot that's going to clear $1 billion within the next few years. And HBCUs, without the automatic bid, we'd be totally shut out of that. And so, to me, the issue is bigger than just pure athletics. It's about some basic fairness for schools that we all know haven't gotten that basic fairness. And contrary to our Secretary of Education, they're not existing because we chose to go there. We chose to go there, yes, but their existence wasn't by choice. It was by necessity. And so I want to keep them in that money pot.
Yeah, I understand exactly.
I totally respect that. Yeah, that perspective, because no, you're good. Most people, when they have this conversation, aren't looking at the economics around NCAA sports, particularly this, scenario. Like, the value of each game in each round to the participant is huge. And so why should we be made to give that up when historically the economic impact of the disparity between the various ethnic groups here, we historically black people have been lower on that totem pole and still are. So why not support our institutions being more economically viable through participation? So I'm with you there. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah, I understand. I was just going to say, I do understand probably the fact. I mean, I can't prove it because it hasn't been abolished yet, but I would assume that no matter how well a MEAC or SWAC team does without an automatic bid, there still really wouldn't be any chance of them getting into that tournament, because the first thing they're going to do is talk about their strength of schedule, versus the other teams in the field. So, yeah, without an automatic bid, there is probably no shot. I mean, you probably can go undefeated in the MEAC, but as long as you only played, teams in the MEAC and maybe a few more mid-majors early in your schedule, there wouldn't be a shot in the world.
There would be a shot. And the thing is, sometimes they make it sound like, well, it's a matter of who you play and where you play them. Well, doggone well that if the big school gives you a game and they know you're good, they're going to make you come all the way across the country. They're not going to give you a home and a home. They're not going to do that. No. There's nothing for them to gain in it. They're going to make you come all the way across the country. They'll pay you X amount of money to do it. But it's the system is just not set up for you to affirmatively make yourself competitive. And so without that automatic bid, we are done. We're done.
Yeah, no, yeah. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Get that check. They make you come get a check and a beat down.
I'm never mad at those times when Florida State plays Florida A&M. I'm like, yeah, it's going to make for great jokes on War Room, and we're going to clown the Rattlers. But at the end of the day, they probably got $1 million for that game. So I'm like, go get that bag. Go and secure the bag.
It's not. it's not a system I'm comfortable with in terms of the football thing, because just the physicality piece. And like I think it was Savannah State, or was it Grambling? It was one of the HBCUs was going to put their fellas on a bus to drive to, I think, play Oklahoma State, and they got a lot of pressure, a lot of hassle about that, and it pressured them into going and put them on a plane. You're making enough money to do it with just going to the game. Right. So I'm not comfortable with it, especially in football. But from an economic standpoint, what alternatives do you have? That's the reality of it.
All right. Well, everybody, just make sure you go to warroomsports.com and check out Gus's latest article, so you will understand everything that he's talking about right here. But Gus, thank you again for your time. We're going to try to get you back next week so we can get some picks before the Sweet 16. So we'll see you then. We'll talk to you then.
My pleasure. I'm Dover, but I'm not running this time.
All right, man. Talk to you next week.
All right, Gus.
Gus Griffin, everybody, War Room Sports writer and handicapper. He may have won you something, may have lost you something during the football season, but I still give him props for his late season comeback. The last 2 weeks, he put it all on the line and made a nice little comeback.
Man, he's helping you invest, diversify your portfolio.
The automatic bid thing be like is there two sides of this for you? I mean, because there is for me. Like, when you're just looking at it from a pure competition standpoint, like, we complain all the time in every sport, like, we want to see the best teams, in the playoffs at the end. So, like, is it really fair to competition that we have to let teams – and this is not just an HBCU thing, because there's a lot of conferences out there that aren't from black schools that get automatic bids with teams that probably shouldn't be in the tournament. While certain teams, have to go to the NIT, certain teams don't do anything in the postseason because of this system. So how fair is it from that standpoint, versus us being graduates of HBCUs, us being black dudes saying, go ahead and get that bag. But on the flip side of that, how fair do you think it is?
I think it's completely. When we talk about, I got to go to one of my catchphrases, competitive greatness. Oh, it's terrible. It is. I admit it's complete hogwash to have, Morehead State competing against UConn. But like, I can't get past.
I'd invite Morehead State to any party.
No, tell them to stop using our boys as labor, as free labor, and let them all go to HBCUs.
Yeah.
Let them all go to HBCUs, and then we have our own tournament.
Get them.
Never mind.
Go ahead, get them.
Go ahead, you got it. My fault.
Get them.
I'm just saying, like.
No, get them. Get them.
I mean, because. No.
Get them.
I mean, I understand what you guys are trying to say in terms of competitive.
We also got to tell our boys to come on home.
This is true. They definitely come on home.
Tell our boys to stop chasing pork.
Yo. Listen, man. It's going to take for us to
go
pretty
turf
much
the girl alone.
Yo, it's going to take for us to in the infrastructure program, so when they go to look, they're not looking at raggedy gyms, and they're looking at the same state-of-the-art Sixers type facilities they see when they go to Duke. Anyway, but, the thing about it is, like, the competitive greatness, I understand that, but those magical moments when you have a lower seed beat a bigger seed that is not supposed to be there, that's what makes the tournament. So even though they can't compete for the title, those moments every once in a while, like Richmond beating Syracuse, and like so when those automatic bids like actually pull off an upset, that's what makes the tournament special.
Mason going to the Final Four.
Yeah, that's what the tournament's about. Like, those moments are special. Sometimes more special than Duke or Kentucky winning a championship. Who cares? It's those moments in the tournament that make it so special.
Because when a Mason gets on a run like that, it's no doubt, and that I'm rooting for that team. Like, I started rooting for that team like they were from my hometown or something.
Yeah, some of your examples though, like as much as George Mason is a mid-major by definition, they've had enough success in the tournament and in NCAA basketball to appear period. I don't really look at them the same as I look at a MEAC school or a SWAC school. Like, they can actually put together good recruiting classes from time to time and realize and experience success. It's kind of like the brother Shaka Smart coaching at where was he at? That he made, you know, at VCU. It's like some of those schools, they're mid-majors, but it's not like.
I disagree with
it's not like Howard.
Yeah, like what success does Mason really have in the tournament though? Like, I don't know what success you're talking about. Maybe
I disagree with that.
Maybe you know something I don't know.
I would attribute
alternative facts.
Both of those programs and what they've done in the past decade to coaching, not necessarily recruiting classes, because they were, their recruiting classes didn't really make noise. And while you're saying that, I've actually seen Howard in the past 5 years get lauded for their recruiting class, and then hyped everybody up, and then it never materialized into anything.
Panned out.
But so I don't know. I don't know. I want to give Shaka Smart and Larranaga their props on the coaching jobs that they did with lesser talent. You know what I'm saying? They may have gotten some guys to come after that run because a few better guys in the area probably said, man, if they can do that, if they had me, then blah, blah, blah. And then, it never really work out. They both leave for bigger programs, and then they're right back to where we're used to them being. But, no, it's an interesting topic. But everybody make sure you go to warroomsports.com and check out Gus's article.
I'm gonna need my brother to tell me the success that George Mason had though. Like, really. George Mason been around like 100 years. They've been around like 100 years. They made it 6 times, yo. And 3 of those 6 times they was a 14 or higher seed. So I'm trying to see all the success
I've seen.
Why you say that? Hampton has had more success in the tournament than George Mason. Besides that one run.
They have.
George Mason has only been a single-digit seed one time in the history of their school, ever, in the universe. They won a total. They won a total of tournament games in like 150 years, dog.
Maybe my bias is he's putting pressure on. My bias is because I've seen my alma mater actually recruit and give money to people that cannot play basketball. Like, they literally can't play basketball, and they're on the team.
I keep telling you that once in a while, even your alma mater, once in a while, people believe the hype on something. Even when we were there, they recruited that young boy from across the country, and everybody walking around school talking about he could go to the league. I'm like, what league? But either way.
I wasn't talking about him, and we can't name no names to protect the guilty, but we've seen people.
I was about to move on. I know you
like
to name names. I was about to just why I bring that up. I'm like B about to say his name. All right, so we got some calls on the line. We're gonna go out to Arizona to the biggest Alabama fan we know. Jimmy says he's surprised, they be letting them into the state. But Tobias, roll damn Tide.
Hey, roll down Tide.
Shout out to
now, segregation forever.
Shout out to
going on, fellas? Hey, fellas, what's going on with y'all, man?
So Bama plays VTech at 9:20. 8-9.
Yeah, we got the one. I've been saying this forever. Colin Sexton is better than Trae Young. Can we just let's just be honest about that one. I like to call that Colin Sexton versus everybody, but I don't really go that far. They might be Virginia Tech, but they don't have a chance of hell against Villanova. I'm just being honest about that one. But
speaking of Trae Young, Oklahoma lost to the 7th Rhode Island in overtime earlier. Trae Young had 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists in his only tournament. Well, this is going to be, he's out basically. So he has an appearance. Now he
Tobias, I have a question. I got a question you can help me with. Like, with Alabama fans, I know they have a lot of white sheets. Like, where do they get them cleaned at? Do they take them to the cleaners, or like, is it a place for guys like?
You know what they say? They say, "Hey, boy, clean those sheets, boy." That's what they say.
I'm just trying to figure out,
what we do.
No,
we make Auburn fans clean our sheets.
Do they just buy new ones and poke holes in those? Like, take them to the dry cleaner somewhere, like, maybe on campus.
How do they carry those heavy crosses that they're going to burn around? How do they do that? Where do they fit?
Ironically, that actually happened when I was a kid. When I was a small kid, my mom was
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, and that happened for real to us. And they try to live in the burbs, they ain't like that. But hey, just how it is. But hey, you think Alabama's bad? Take a trip to Mississippi. That's all I got to say.
Let me tell you this.
Still burning.
I ain't going to either one of them.
I'm never
if I
interested
go to
in
them,
going
I'm
through.
going to have to lay my hypothetical game down if I go to either one of them places.
I
But man, I was in the tournament. I did pick. I screenshot it where I picked Loyola to beat Fred's team. I don't know if Fred gonna claim to you after this one, but that was one that was kind of obvious. But I don't mind the automatic bids, and I don't mind like a school for the SWAC or the MEAC get in, because that money, like those schools don't have the resources like your big boy schools to like not get the automatic bids or take those games. See, what people don't realize, I don't use the HBCUs for example. Most of the kids are going to school on credit, and we know for obvious reasons why, which ain't our fault, is the way the system's set up. So you're not going to have like a guy bring like a regular black guy putting up $100,000 or $1 million endowment like you do at the Stanfords or Texas and stuff like that. So that money from those automatic bids or playing like in Alabama or Florida or something like that could help those athletic programs. Because you got regular everyday white people with funds paying for schools.
Let's back that up. Let's back that up, though. Let's back that up because one of the issues is HBCUs produce most of our professionals in the African American community. Most of our doctors, our lawyers, our inventors, our judges, they all come from HBCUs. So that's not an excuse that they can't donate that way. The fact is they don't donate that way. They don't donate that way. Like, one of the biggest issues that plagues HBCUs is alumni not donating. They have plenty of successful alumni, and that goes across multiple schools. The fact is, and I guess that leads to management of the school too, because for some reason, schools aren't able to have the alumni donate the way that other schools are, because other people take more pride in their schools. So this is a deeper psychological issue. We don't take pride in our own institutions the way we should. You know what I mean? Like, they take pride in their schools.
You know what else? It's like, and my thing, if you only got $100, donate that. What you can. Like, even like Miami, a lot of those players, black players came over there. Hey, I'm saying the white school for them. They ain't donate. The Rock donated a lot. But what I'm saying is, like, you're right. It's pride in that. We don't even have pride in the family businesses as well. We must have pride in those institutions. And I think that's like you got something there where you said, I want this institution to do well. If I only got $100, hey, I'll give you $75. Anything is better than nothing.
Every little bit counts, man. And the fact is, like, and even someone on this phone, like even I should do better in terms of my. I mean, I do to the HBCU I attended. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I do more. But it's a bigger issue there, and I know that B. Austin can speak to this. The fact of the matter is, all of our institutions, whether it's a school, whether it's our banks, we just don't take pride in our own things, and a lot of time look and say, okay, let's get this bag from there because we can't we can have donors that way if we wanted to. There are a lot of successful people.
What you're talking about there takes us into a deeper issue, and we don't have time to delve into that.
That's exactly what it is.
At the end of the day, I'll say this: the absolute worst result of white supremacy is how black people feel about themselves and their institution. Like you let a white bank teller in a bank or platform person sitting at the desk give them bad treatment or whack customer service, they're going to identify that with that particular person or that particular branch, but not all quote-unquote white banks. But if they have that same experience at a black bank,
it's all over.
I'm taking my money out of all black banks.
Dog, listen, Walmart has the worst customer service out of any business I've ever been to. Like, you go in a joint, there's 600 people, and they got one line, and they don't even care that their customer service is terrible. But yet we
Dude, get this, man. Hey, fellas, get this.
Tobias,
me and my lady. Go ahead.
Bob Marley told you to emancipate yourself from that, man. Emancipate yourself from slavery, B. That's what it is.
Yeah, because, me and my lady went out to eat, right? And I said, I wanted the swordfish, white restaurant. I said, hey, I'm sorry, sir, but we out of swordfish. I told her, this is why I don't go to white restaurants. They're always running out of stuff. but let that be a black restaurant. Most of our restaurants are mom and pops. You run out of stuff because business was good that night. We expect us to be perfect, and you're not going to be perfect. We don't have those resources, so we're going to swing and miss sometimes. We may not have the most fun, but it's a thing called art.
We're hardest on ourselves.
Yeah,
we're hardest on ourselves to buy, and that's because we don't love us. We don't identify with beautiful or thriving or success or positivity with us and our people. And when we do well and our esteem is high, we separate that esteem from cultural esteem. But again, we going off the deep end, man.
It's going to be
Alabama and them sheep.
But can I say this real quick though about the NFL? Mm-hmm. Boy. Like I said last week, and I said it again, it's confirmed. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs already. You got a GM who's a lame duck, head coach is a lame duck, and all they did was even try to sign a bunch of guys we never heard of. And,
hey, y'all got Bo
rush.
Allen. DJ Willie G was happy about
that.
Y'all got Bo Allen.
The only Bo I know is Bo Outlaw.
Before we acknowledge his Jackson.
Yo, DJ Willie G said that in the group chat earlier. I was like, yeah, my Tampa Bay Bucks got Bo Allen from the Eagles. I was like, thank you. I wanted to thank him for taking him off our hands. Like, thanks. Like, that's what's up.
But the part that kills me is that the part that kills me is like the Eagles, for example. They ain't resting on their laurels. They're like, we're going to keep getting better. We're going to add Michael Bennett. He may be a rotation guy, but he's a good rotation guy. Tampa, I'm like, you 5-11. The whole staff is on lame duck deals here, and they ain't doing nothing. And you got fans talking about, well, we got to worry about signing our own play. You mean that whack-ass left tackle who got Jameis hurt this year? Kept missing blocks? or the guy who they put at center can't do a snap?
You know what Bo Allen is? He's Mike Golick without the personality. He'll never have a talk show. He's just as bad as
a customer service
just as average as
Hey
Mike
guys,
Golick.
but I got to run, but I got to leave y'all with this. You got bad backup quarterbacks getting all kind of bread who we know can't play, but Colin Kaepernick, they say he can't play and want too much money. Sam Brown is still getting paid. But hey, you guys have a good one though.
All right, I'll let you next week.
All right.
And shout out to Skyview in the chat room. He weighed in as well. He said automatic bids are cool. That's how you get your Cinderella team. Same thing y'all were saying. He said HBCUs should pay their collegiate athletes, then watch how fast the other schools follow suit. They're part of the NCAA too. Like they get in lots of trouble for that.
No, but wasn't like an article or something that came out? They tried something.
They were saying that they were saying how HBCUs should leave the NCAA so they can pay their athletes.
Yo,
cool.
Was that?
Exactly my color.
Was that me?
Yo, get that.
What is going on?
Did we not hang up on Tobias? Yeah, my bad. I'm glad he wasn't doing nothing else after we.
Yo, he was taking orders to clean white sheets right there. I heard him. He said, "How many sheets you bringing
in?" Yo. All right. So, anyway, man, y'all stupid, man. Penny Hardaway, keeping with college basketball, is set to become the next head coach at Memphis. So, since he's a legend there, he's kind of coming full circle on that. But there's a group out there who doesn't really think he's qualified. Like, he has a dominant high school basketball program, but many people aren't attributing that to his coaching skills, but his recruiting skills, being Penny, and he also runs a big AAU program in
Memphis. That's what you need for college, though. That's
being
what
a
you
legend.
need for the college program.
No, that's true, because if he can get the best talent in Memphis, on his AAU team, and he's sending them, to Division I schools, if he can get them to stay in Memphis and play for him, then he could have some pretty good teams. But then again, can you get 12 guys from Memphis and be that good? Are they hooping like that in Memphis?
I mean, I ain't know they were getting no money in Akron.
You can get the best 12 guys in the city and dominate the city, but can you get a bunch of guys from Memphis and dominate college basketball? So I guess that's what they're asking. So without some major, yeah.
But here's my thing.
I
didn't know they was getting no money in Akron, but they was. But even beyond that, the second thing is, what kind of success has Memphis had with pre-Penny Hardaway? You act like he's taking over North Carolina, Duke, or Kentucky or something. You're taking over Memphis, right?
Dude. Well, they had Tubby Smith. They just didn't have Kentucky Tubby Smith. They had old head Tubby Smith, who probably ain't wanted. He probably was in it for the paycheck.
They had the Larry Holmes version of Tubby.
Flabby and sick.
Yo, Pac bodied Larry Holmes with that, because every time I think Larry Holmes, that line comes to my mind. Like, Larry Holmes is literally one of the greatest of all time, but Pac made him, just relegated him to the end of his career. Anyway.
Tubby was in the school cafeteria I like soup. What kind of soup?
Yo, my man Larry Holmes was that dude. He had a rotary phone in his car in 81. Yeah. Tell me y'all saw that clip on that 30 for 30, yo.
Yeah, I forgot about
that. Yeah, the rotary dial.
Yo, he was riding through it was on tape. He was riding through, had a rotary phone in his car. I don't know how he got it to work, who hooked up. But Larry Holmes was killing him with the rotary phone. But anyway, it's not like he's taking over a Memphis program that's a powerhouse right now. So he needs to chill. I think this is a good move. I saw that he has a dominant high school program. To me, he is like Memphis basketball. I think of him in the little run they had when they was cheating. But you know what I mean? He is Memphis basketball. Stop.
You ain't cheating.
No, and he is. And this has been the MO of a lot of schools lately, though. Like, when things aren't going to the standard of the program, they reach back and get a legend because they think that's going to help recruiting. I mean, look at Georgetown. They got Patrick Ewing over there. I mean, he has much more coaching experience on a higher level than Penny Hardaway. But come on, face it. They picked Patrick Ewing up because they figure our all-time best player in the program probably can get some people to come to the school.
I personally think that's dope. I love when teams do it at the professional level, and because I remember there was a time when the Sixers they were notorious for not doing that, and it used to irritate me being in Philadelphia. I'm like, why Dr. J go to Orlando to get a gig when Philly and had so many opportunities to give people jobs, but they want to give World B. Free a gig anyway. So I love when teams
they trying to learn their lesson. That's why they trot Allen Iverson out every 4 games.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a change of ownership. New ownership understands that you build a culture, and this goes through high school, college, the pros. You build a culture, and you try to live up to that quote unquote family thing as much as you can. Although we all know what that really is. You know what I mean? Shout out to Hank. But
Bubba Check, all they gotta do is buy out the bar at Fridays every 4 nights.
Yo, Bubba Chuck get him a bottle of Douce and it's a wrap. He show up. My man said, "Why are you in Charlotte?" Because I live here.
I live here. He's like my little dudes. They all bigger than him. He's like my little dude.
They don't know nobody name. That's my little
dude. Yo, AI was hammered when they did that interview, man. When they have him on TV like that. All right, real quick.
AI's liver will not forgive him.
Nah. But real quick before we, for B, because I know Jimmy ain't paying attention to it, just to give me a few highlights that from NFL free agency, I just wanted to ask you guys if you saw the latest OJ program. I'm not going to, it's an old interview from 2006.
I mean,
right around the time when he was about to release that book. Yeah, right around the time he was about to release the book, If I Did It. So, Fox is trying to build this as the Lost Confessions, even though they had a question mark on the end of Confessions. But what are y'all thoughts when y'all see this? First of all, I have to preface this, and you guys already know that the O.J. Simpson saga is probably the thing that interests me the most in entertainment, because I'm going to call it entertainment, even though, people wouldn't like that. There's some lives were lost in this entertainment saga. But, and I know Jimmy, Biggie and Tupac, especially, the whole Biggie thing.
I'm obsessed with stories and documentaries.
I'm obsessed with that as well. But for me, it's like OJ, then Biggie and Pac, and then everything else. Whatever they make about those situations, I have to watch it, no matter if it's overkill. A lot of other people tap out, how many programs they're going to make about this dude, how many times they're going to sit down and talk to this dude, blah, blah, blah. I can't help it, man. The miniseries they did last year was very well done. The documentary, three-night journey they did last year, great.
Dev let Kuna Gooding Jr. off the list, back into the wild off of that miniseries.
It's always a Cuban fan though. He can act.
Body it though. I ain't gonna hold it. Yeah, I definitely watched it.
Cornball, bro.
I definitely watched it. And
OJ is the first savage. His level of savage.
Here's my thing, right? Let me just tell you this. I watched the whole thing. I'm gonna give you my perspective, right? The whole thing that bothered me, in the grand scheme of it, outside of him laughing, is I see murders all the time, and I shouldn't say this, but anytime you cut on the news in any major city or go on the internet, there's always murders, lives lost on a daily basis. There's people that die. I've never once thought, hypothetically, if I killed that person, how would I do it? Let alone the mother of your children. Why are you even thinking about a hypothetical? We all know that he did it, right?
Let alone that you were on trial for doing it.
Yeah. Now, I know at the time he needed money and he was scrambling, but, dog, you could have thought of something. Get a job, beloved. What are you doing?
That's the great. That's the OJ is 100% sociopath, 100% psychopath at this point, and most likely, like you said, a murderer. It's wow. He sat there, laughed through it like he was having a casual conversation about things that go on at home with the kids, and he was just laughing through this as if two people didn't lose their lives in what ended up being the trial of the century. He didn't have to pay in civil court for the murders of these people. Like Jimmy said, he definitely was out to get a bag at that point because, his money probably was spent paying the Goldmans and his wife's family. But it's just amazing to see him sit up here and just be able to talk about this so nonchalantly. When he started doing the hypotheticals, Jimmy, did you peep how he added somebody to the story, his friend Charlie? Which to me, Charlie was nobody but his conscience.
Charlie.
Charlie was his
on Charlie like that, man. Charlie ain't bothering nobody, man.
He's a crazy dude who's calling his alter ego or his conscience Charlie, because everything he said Charlie did. Think about it, Jim. It was all conscious related. He was like, Charlie, yo, I think we should get out of here. Yeah, that's what you told yourself after you stabbed these people.
Charlie was on his left shoulder. He had Owen on the right and Charlie on the left.
So Charlie said to grab this knife. Yo, what's wrong with this dude, man? All right. I'm not going to spend too much time on him, but it's so fascinating, yo.
Dog, all the investigation into his life and everything, and nobody know no damn Charlie. He got to get out of control.
No, he has no friend named Charlie.
It went from hypothetical to when I killed him, right? Like my man went in the straight first person, like talking about his feelings he had afterwards. I'm dog. Listen, man, you are bugging. Like how many? I mean, we watch a lot of. How many times have y'all been murdered and said hypothetically I would do it this way? What?
Right. And I
don't care if it's somebody I don't know.
It's amazing because the reason why this interview was never shown and the book never came out is because the Goldman family put a stop to it. So I'm wondering how it came out now. Like, is there some kind of statute of limitations on how long you can stop something from coming out, or did they come back to them in 2018 with a bag and asked them if they were healed enough by this time to sit here and watch this dude do this? And then the commentary on the side, your man Chris Darden will forever be salty that OJ is walking the streets when it was, he played a big role into the reason he got acquitted. So I think that's why he's salty. Chris Darden was sitting over there mad as hell.
Plus he lost the marsh again. Plus you got kind of excommunicated from your community for essentially trying to do the right thing. Right. Because everybody who made him an outcast, they all in their mind think right now that O.J. Simpson is a murderer. Yeah, they do.
But,
shout out to Johnny Cochran, yo. You a legend.
But they not big enough, Jim. They're not as big as Jesus and the boys. They're not going to apologize to Chris Darden. They're just going.
No, they definitely not going to apologize to him. Yo, shout out to my man Johnny Cochran though, because that just proves your legendariness. You went in there and played like a fiddle.
All right, so real quick, because this is it's still going on. It's going to go on for a while, but B. Austin, the first day and a half or first 2 days, first 26 hours officially of NFL free agency. Any highlights out there for you?
Absolutely.
Guaranteed money.
Allegedly, the game is changed now that has gotten a guaranteed deal. I'm just waiting for them to give Aaron Rodgers the entire state of Wisconsin. Like, there's no way that he doesn't get the state of Wisconsin based on Kirk Cousins receiving a guaranteed a guaranteed $84 million?
See, but I've heard some, over 3 years, 84 million all guaranteed.
Over 3 years.
And then they traded for Trevor Siemian to be his backup while Case Keenum is now the quarterback of Jimmy's beloved Denver Broncos. Not sure that's going to work out. They probably still should draft somebody.
They made him.
What a time to be a mediocre white quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
But listen though, about the Aaron Rodgers thing, B, that's what everybody says, as soon as you bring up the Kirk Cousins thing. But Aaron Rodgers, he publicly had some problems with them getting rid of Jordy Nelson. He claims that his whole MO right now is for them to win a Super Bowl, to win now. And if he got the kind of contract that Kirk Cousins has just so he can prove who he is in the game, that would put a big wrench in whatever they could possibly do to win right now. So I hear people talking like, well, Tom Brady wouldn't do that. Tom Brady has been taking pay cuts for all of these years so they can keep winning, which is a total misconception. Tom Brady has restructured deals, made his cap hit a little less doing deals, but he gets all of his money because he just pops up with these signing bonuses every few years. He gets his bread.
He gets it as a bonus.
It's crazy when I hear people fall for that Kool-Aid, and they always say that.
Yeah.
So
that's why it's easy to do that, though.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers could possibly do something like that. If his agent is crafty enough for them to be able to work something out like that. But if he just goes out to get the Kirk Cousins bag, Green Bay might not be winning anytime soon.
Yo, and you got to understand that Tom Brady has a wife that makes like $50 million a year, and I don't know what Aaron Rodgers' boyfriend does for a living, but that's probably not, on the same level as
Well, Aaron got another career with the and State Farm.
Salute to Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler got 5 years, $61 million from
after getting benched in the Super Bowl
from the Tennessee Titans. Vrabel called his old coach and said, "Watch what I do. How you like me now?" With $30 million guaranteed. Now, even before all of this,
I don't think he did good.
Even before all of this, I never thought that Malcolm Butler was a $30 million guaranteed talent.
I didn't think he was a $30 million overall contract talent. He made a very big play in a very big game. So, your name, you can cash off.
Here's the big question I have for you gentlemen. The big
Somebody just got their ankles taken in the tournament.
So I've seen the contracts come through, through our group chat and all that. And the way that I notice, as an outsider at this point, is all the guaranteed money. So what does this mean with all this guaranteed money, long term, and what is it going to do for the game? Is it going to be a good thing, a bad thing? Like, if some of these guys start getting injured with all this guaranteed money out there, what's going to happen to foosball?
It's a lot of guaranteed, but it's not as much as we think. As long as the other,
it's more than it's ever been.
Players, as long as the other 80% of the roster remains in the normal, unguaranteed type of structure.
Yeah, but over time,
they're not even 80 though. I think this is only going to happen for quarterbacks and very special position talent.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. But everything always trickles down too, though. So if this is starting to happen here, it's going to trickle down eventually. Now, who knows what the percentage is?
Jim,
but a lot of guys are going to be like, I'm not needing.
Bo Allen ain't getting but a $2 million guarantee. They're not giving Bo. They're not giving Bo no guaranteed money for it.
Listen, man.
All I'm saying
is, when we start having the guys up top doing certain things, it definitely trickles down to the point where Mike Conley makes $800 million.
Jimmy, you have a point. The point is going to trickle down because, at least there's going to be an effort to do so, because when the next CBA is negotiated, they're going to start pointing to that, right? Giving these guys guaranteed money.
The owners are going to say, all right, well, we just won't play football for a year. See how y'all do without a paycheck for a year. And then
get out of my field.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Let's see how much.
Shut that down. Right. Shut that down real fast. Get out of my field.
No more checks. Let's see how.
Don't you cut
no more checks, boys. Let's see how much you have saved.
Well, Drew Brees re-signed with the Saints. R.I.P. to Tom Benson, their team owner, passed away today at 90. He actually went into the hospital.
He guaranteed contract.
Yeah, but you can't get the flu.
I ain't dealing with this.
At 90 years old, you can't get the flu. That's a death sentence.
Yeah.
The Giants have made some moves that have a lot of Giants fans scratching their heads. 2 years, $6.9 million for Jonathan Stewart. 4 years, $62 million for Nate Solder. So, and the fact that Cleveland has signed Carlos Hyde, there's a lot of people in that mix that are kind of confused at what Cleveland and or the New York Giants are going to do in the draft, because the name that was floating around for both of those teams, of course, was Saquon Barkley. But with their additions, they have people second-guessing what they might end up doing. Personally, I don't think either of the top two teams in the draft should take anything but a quarterback, even though the Giants have Eli Manning. Eli Manning is up there in age. They have a different head coach now, even though, the first one, the coach from last year kind of gave up on Eli. If he was still there, Eli would most definitely be on his way out. But I still think at his advanced age, I think they need to be drafting a quarterback and letting them sit behind Eli for a year or two. so they can maybe transition without taking a major dive. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I hope they do the wrong thing.
Yeah, the whole Saquon Barkley going at number one talk, that's kooky. That's kooky talk. That ain't gonna happen. So he's up out of, I see him falling to 5 to 12, and 1 and 2 are going to take quarterbacks. But even if we say, okay, New York Giants, you have Jonathan Stewart and an opportunity to get Saquon Barkley. You have Jonathan Stewart. So, Jonathan Stewart, so what does that mean? At this point in Jonathan's career, an NFL team is going to say, look, we down around the goal line. We need you to go get some CTE and just fall into the end zone.
Jonathan Stewart, when he was young and healthy,
right?
He was the consummate backfield sharer. So we know you don't just pick up Jonathan Stewart and say, okay, all of our other plans are off. So I got it now. Yeah, if Cleveland doesn't make that move, there's still a good chance that the Giants might end up with a Saquon Barkley, with Jonathan Stewart being his potential backup. B. Austin, you're Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, we know they picked up Haloti Ngata to go along with the Michael Bennett trade from last week. Nigel Bradham is re-signed 5 years, $40 million. And if you guys remember, Ndamukong Suh was really admiring the Eagles from afar earlier last season and was saying, I'd play for them for free next year. I would hold him to that if I was the Eagles brass right now and make the greatest defensive tackle rotation that you could find anywhere with Haloti Ngata, Timmy Jernigan, and Ndamukong Suh, and of course the All-Pro Fletcher Cox. Somebody would probably have to go, but I think the reason that he was liking what they were doing is because they shuffled guys so much, so you didn't have to go out there and play 70 snaps a game. Like Fletcher Cox didn't do that until the playoffs, so he was a little bit fresher than other defensive tackles in the playoffs because they had to spend so much time on the field. The Eagles line was good enough to, mix and match. Shout out to Bo Allen,
right?
The All-Pro going to Tampa.
Truck driver. Bo Allen drives cement trucks in the offseason.
All right.
I like the signing. I think that it's a good. I don't know exactly what Haloti Ngata has in the tank left, but if he is 95% of what he has been, that is a devastating signing to platoon, to be able to platoon him in and out. Oh, my God.
You know what, though, B? I don't expect him to be 95% of what he's been. And if the Eagles had a problem at defensive tackle, I wouldn't like the signing. But the fact that they're pretty good at defensive tackle, and because Schwartz runs the defense like that with guys shuffling in and out, I love the signing because you have a guy who's older, but he doesn't have to play a ton. You stick him in there on the rundowns. Like, who's going to run against this team? Nobody did last season. But who's going to run against them? They're shuffling those guys in. And just imagine, because I'm not even about the Eagles just running out and getting every big name that they could find. I know a lot of Eagles fans, every time somebody hits the market, the Eagles should get him. Like, people forget that the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Like, we're no longer, like, we've been so programmed that we're always a piece or two away, that every big name that falls out into the market, Eagles fans are clamoring for. Like, we just won the Super Bowl without all of these guys that people want to pay a ton of money to because they think football money grows on trees and we can just pay everybody who gets released from their team. But I would like to see the Ndamukong Suh thing happen just to shore up that scary, defensive tackle rotation because then you'll have You have your run stuffers, and then you'll have the guys who can even rush the passer from the inside.
From the inside, yeah. I had a question with Malcolm Butler's availability. I would smack the living dog-ish out of Howie Roseman if he would have given Malcolm Butler $30 million guaranteed. But I was going to say, is he an upgrade over what we have, and shouldn't we be investing in corner to replace the guy with the green hair?
I'm not interested. I'm not interested. The Eagles had a bunch of young corners last year. I'm cool with those guys growing. I don't think we need to run out and just grab every big name or half a name. He got a name off the Super Bowl. Let them grow. They improved throughout the season last year. So let them, I'm cool to let them grow.
I'm very impressed with cornerback number 41. I like him a lot, and I think you build from there. I need more depth at the position.
Don't forget.
And honestly,
don't forget they got arguably the best cornerback in the draft last year. He just couldn't play until the end of the season. Injury.
Sidney Jones.
So if he improves, you never know.
Yeah,
but
we'll see. But yeah, I was happy with what we did. I was happy with the attention paid to the defensive line and shoring that up. So I thought we made great progress. But we got to talk about the Native American gentleman in the NFL who wears baby pads.
Yeah, Sam Bradford, 1 year, $20 million with the Cardinals. By my calculations, because this is a guaranteed signing because it's only 1 year. By my calculations, once this season is up, Sam Bradford would have made $134 million in the NFL.
Get that bread.
And I'm sitting here like, has Sam Bradford played 134 games? Like I don't understand it, but I'm in the same boat as Jimmy when he says, get that bread. If they want to pay you, if people want to keep paying Sam Bradford, he's going to be in his 14th year, and we're still going to be talking about his potential. If he don't get injured, man, that dude, he could be nice.
They let go of the honey badger and gave this boy a bag.
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Hey, can you? I didn't understand that release. I didn't understand releasing the honey badger unless you're upset at his nickname. I can get that, but as a player, he is one of those hybrid defensive backs that is equally good away from the line of scrimmage as he is up on the line. He can play corner. He can play deep.
Yo, he's like 25,
safety.
B.
And he's close to my son's age. Like, why are you cutting him?
Yo,
I don't understand.
But they cut him and gave mediocre boy.
Take a pay cut. All about money.
Yeah.
All about money.
Yo, why would I take a pay cut when you pay Sam Bradford $1 gazillion?
To get hurt. Yo, Sam is that dude. Speaking of Sam Bradford, Eric Weddle, the safety now with the Baltimore Ravens, he had a little something to say on Twitter about Sam Bradford. He said, "So dumb. Bradford has been paid more for nothing than anyone in the history of the NFL." B, that's your man. You agree with him?
Absolutely. Not that he should be a chatty patty or counting other people's pockets, but hey, we need news in this news cycle. He ain't lying.
Hey, I
he
know.
Ain't lying.
And it's one of those things. He's definitely not lying, but it's like, damn, what happened to the brotherhood that they talk about all the time? And it's weird these days, especially in the days of free agency in any sport. Like, this could be your teammate. This could be your teammate at any given moment, and then you have to be taking stuff back, kind of like when Larry Nance Jr. got drafted to the Lakers after he said all that stuff about Kobe. We just see it all the time. And somebody made a joke today. I forgot who it was, Jim. I think they were in the War Room Sports Game Time chat group. It may have been Phil Maddock from Tissue and the Tape. He was like, the Cardinals just they just cut Honey Badger so they can try to bring in Eric Weddle. I'd be like, yo, that'll be the funniest thing ever. That'll be the funniest thing ever if the Ravens trade Eric Weddle to the Cardinals.
Yo, but here's what's crazy, right? So he didn't tell a lie, but like he said, some things are better just left not said. And you point energy at the wrong person, because what's he supposed to say? No, don't give me that bread. I don't deserve it.
I don't want that.
He's supposed to go the Ricky Williams route. No, let's make this all incentive based. I don't deserve this. No one deserves this kind of money.
Yo, technically,
you know what I'm saying?
Sam Bradford supposed to get mad at that?
Technically speaking, when you look at what the market is for a starting star quarterback, Kirk Cousins has set the market, and $20 million a year really isn't like, it's $20 million a year. So it's like, geez, Louise. But your starters are going to be above $25 million a year. Your quality starters are going to be in that $27 million a year range. So for Sam Bradford to get 20, that's just kind of middle of the road for a definite starter who's not necessarily.
Sometimes I wonder who are they negotiating against? Like, if you don't give him 20, are there a bunch of teams lined up to give him 20?
Right.
I
mean,
that's a great question.
You know, Eric Weddle's comments is definitely fan speak. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff you kind of let us say that. You know, y'all supposed to have the brotherhood or whatever everybody calls it. And the more money these guys get, that's good. Down. That's what I'm saying. That's good for everybody. So why would you even say something like that? I can see the only person I can see even feeling that way about a Sam Bradford is another quarterback who may have a similar career to Sam Bradford, but has maybe been better or stayed healthier. That's the only person I can see even feeling that way. But a safety, if you're looking at a quarterback who you don't think deserves the money, that's just, like Jimmy said, that just means more money is going to trickle down to other positions.
You know how defenders are, and the ghost of Sambo Ray Lewis is still in that locker room. They resent quarterbacks on the defensive side of the ball, and they especially resent quarterbacks in that defensive huddle.
Or maybe that's his way of speaking out indirectly about what Joe Flacco's making. I don't know. He just put his energy into somebody else. So it's kind of funny
because it just doesn't have to be said, like, or just point your energy, like, yo, what's wrong with teams? But then again, like, you still should just shut up because, yo, they gotta pay you. Like, let it trickle down. You should want everybody to get as much as possible, so there's more money going around in the league. But like, you can't blame Sam Bradford. What is he supposed to say?
Nah, I'm cool. Just give me like $4 million, and we call it a day. 'Cause I might get hurt.
Give me $2. Play for $2.
It's not about
Nick Foles should be trying to get cut now so he can go get $22 million a year.
Well, actually, they contacted the Eagles about Nick Foles before they signed Sam Bradford. So the talks didn't go too far.
Here's
they should have offered us Honey Badger and some picks.
All this money being floated these last week or so was crazy, man. Because I know that, like, all the IG models is paid, but also the agents. Like, these agents is killing it out here. They're getting all this guaranteed bread, like, you know. So that's what's interesting to me. All this bread.
So it's bread time. I mean, I always talk about that when we talk about free agency in football and basketball. It's like an IG model holiday.
We definitely chatty. I love it.
But listen, man, stat of the week real quick before we move on, because, you know, we didn't talked about some of this stuff too long. 50 years ago this week. 50 years ago this week, on March 18th, 1968, Wilt the Stilt Sasquatch Chamberlain may or may not have put up the only quintuple double in the history of the NBA. His stat line allegedly was 53 points, 32 rebounds, 16 assists, 24 blocks, and 11 steals. Now, the reason that I'm saying may or may not have is because it wasn't until 3 years later that blocks and steals even became an official stat. But at the time, the 76ers radio announcer, damn, I don't know why his name is escaping me because he's a legend. He used to keep Wilt's blocks and steals stats on his own. So these are estimated stats in the blocks and steals category, 24 blocks and 11 assists. And, you know, that the actual story has been corroborated by some people, you know, fans, people who worked for the teams, people who worked in the NBA who were actually at the game.
Sonny Hill.
I'm pretty sure Sonny probably said he had 37 blocks. But that's another thing. I mean, first of all, if there are people there saying he probably had about 24 blocks, then we know he had at least 10. So that part is probably true.
First
you
off,
know what I mean?
Rest in peace to Dave Zinkoff, because I think that's who you're talking about.
Yeah. Shout out to him.
No,
he's not him.
Not Dave Zinkoff, because Dave Zinkoff is an old school boy.
Not the announcer, the radio guy. He was a radio dude. Zinkoff was the announcer. Julius, the doctor. Yeah, I'm talking about the guy who called the game for the radio. He the bull who called like the Hershey game. He called this game. And so ironically,
Zinkoff's a legend too.
The center that played for the Knicks played this night. I forgot what team they were playing, but he played for this team on this night. So Wilt gave him 100, and then he went to another team, and then Wilt gave him a quintuple double. So safe to say, well, a lot of people compared to Wilt was a bum, but this bull was a bum. I think his name was Eminoff. I don't know his first name.
Bill Russell was a bum compared to Wilt.
You guys have heard all of the stories about Wilt, so this is easily believable for you guys, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dev, you talking about Harvey Pollack? But I forget who you talking about.
Harvey
That doesn't
Pollack.
matter.
That was him. Harvey Pollack.
All right, but here's the thing, though. To me, the most amazing is Wilt did all this without alkaline buckwheat noodles. And to do this without alkaline buckwheat noodles is an accomplishment in itself.
No doubt. And y'all will know what we're talking about a little later in the program about these alkaline buckwheat noodles. But the most amazing part of it to me, and I believe every minute of it, maybe the numbers may be a little bit off, but I believe that he did the feat. The most impressive part to me is the fact that
human being can do that.
and there it is. Like no human being can do that, except for Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain. So all right, before we move on, I see we got some more callers on the line as well. You guys can check out our website, warroomsports.com. Just make sure you go there. Click on everything, browse the site. In a few days, we're going to have some new stuff up there. If you guys, if you like to put a couple of dollars on the game, we're going to have something on the website for you, and we'll also be talking about that next week on the show. If y'all want to email us about anything, including business opportunities, info@warroomsports.com. If you want to join the chat room right now for the show, blogtalkradio.com/thewarroom. To enter the chat room, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't want to create an account, you don't have to. You can sign up to your Facebook and Twitter accounts. We'll also be taking questions and reading posts from all our social media platforms. If you want to call in and speak with us, that Digital Extreme Technologies hotline is open. The number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted, and if you're listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. I see Skyview 1 and Shizzy the King are holding it down in the chat room. What's going on, fellas? Skyview said the Eagles should have learned their lesson from signing Nnamdi Asomugha. He butchered the spelling of his name, but doesn't matter. And then Shizzy asked, who should have the credit for the Eagles' great roster moves, Howie Rosen or Joe Douglas? Howie? I'm going to get a props to Howie. Howie has had a chip on his shoulder the last 2 years since they basically banished him to the back of the organization. From what we hear, even his office, Even they put him in some dark, dank office in the back of the facility and let Chip Kelly just take his manhood, take his job, and all of that stuff. So I think Howie really has a chip on his shoulder right now. But, of course, I mean, it's an organization. It's a whole front office. So you're going to give both of those guys the credit. They're scouts. They're, everybody involved. But I think Howie's pulling the trigger on most of what's going on right now. So shout out to Howie. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to the Eagles in general. While y'all were on the grind, we're going to go through this real quick and give some birthday shout-outs because we got some stuff to talk about in the NBA as well. So while y'all were on the grind, real quick, did you guys see the story about the minor league baseball player who was caught on stadium surveillance beating his girlfriend up in 2016?
Yo, he let his hands go. Oh, God.
He's a coward of all cowards. Not that, if you're gonna beat your girl, it's better to beat her in public. That's not what I'm saying. But you look at I'm saying that's not what I'm saying. But if you look at the footage from the staircase in the stadium, it's like he comes through the door with her. It looks like a regular old they're about to walk down the steps, but he kind of keeps his eye on the door, and as soon as the door closes, his hand is already in the air, his backhand going her way. And
he with the Wahoo McDaniel John.
Right. And they gave her like a two-piece with the same hand. He went backhand, then came back. But then he kept helping her put her glasses back on and then walk her down the steps and then hit her again and knock the glasses off and then help her put them back on. I'm like, dude has a problem. I mean, his first problem is the fact that he's hitting this woman like this. But
he wild put. That's his problem.
What did he think he was doing? Did he think he was making her feel better? Like, I'm going to help you put your glasses back on before I punch you again? Like, I don't get it.
Dude is a noodle, man. Like
either
dog.
way.
Like it's no. There's no
way around it.
Yo, that's somebody's daughter. B. Like, you out there like Ric Flair chopping her. Like, what is wrong with this dude?
And he was actually brought in, on charges. Well, they brought him in, but she refused to cooperate. She wouldn't press charges. So I think all he ended up doing was some community service or something like that. Like I said, this was back in 2016. He was released by that team. I don't think the new team in Pennsylvania knew about the incident, or maybe they did, and just swept it under the rug until the video came out. So when the video came out, they got on their high horse and was like, oh, we have to release him because we don't condone that kind of stuff, and we didn't know that happened. In today's climate, people really don't believe you because they know, people will try to hide behind something until visual evidence comes out. And we've seen this type of thing time and time again. We saw it with the Baltimore Ravens. They knew exactly what Ray Rice did, but they didn't. The Baltimore Ravens or the NFL didn't act on what they knew until the actual video came out.
So his old club needs more people.
Yeah, I think they might need more people, but either way, this dude is a straight up coward. Roger Mason Jr. was fired as Big Three commissioner. How many of y'all knew he was the Big Three commissioner? I think we knew that, but Ice Cube is always in the camera, so you just assume Ice Cube is the commissioner. But I think we did talk about last year Roger Mason Jr. being the commissioner, and that probably was like jokes along the line of, why the hell they got Roger Mason Jr. doing this? Well, he's out now. There was some talk of corruption, but then Roger Mason Jr. followed that up, saying that there was a racist climate in the Big Three. And then he said he basically didn't appreciate the actions of Ice Cube either. So he's out. The first report was that Ice Cube was indeed going to take over as the commissioner, but now it's Clyde Drexler. That's out of left field, in my opinion. But Clyde the Glide.
Okay.
So this is Jimmy's favorite professional sport.
I guess Ice Cube has looked at Clyde the Glide's game and figures Clyde ain't gonna tell. He's just gonna look down.
Yeah. He'll look down and do everything with his right hand. He said it was a hostile and racist environment. In a statement that he provided to the Washington Post, he said he was fired in retaliation for accusing the Big Three, and in particular co-founder Jeff Quantanetz, of breaching his employment agreement. He added that a former employee of Big Three recently told him that Quantanetz, an entertainment industry executive, had repeatedly referred to black athletes as rich niggas. Excuse me, rich niggas.
Damn.
Niggas. So that was his, that's how he fired back after he was fired. So, and he didn't hear it himself. He said a former Big Three employee told him this. But they said, according to league sources, Mason was fired for corrupt practices.
Come on, man. Who told him? Charlie? Charlie told him.
I don't know. So there was an investigation into Mason's ties to a pair of Qatari investors in the league. Ayman Sabi and Ahmed El Rahmani, who were alleged to have withheld millions of dollars from the Big Three. So Mason allegedly refused to work on behalf to get that money from them dudes. He probably was afraid. What you gonna do to them dudes?
Yo, y'all going down the path of saying something we shouldn't. So let's move on.
Yeah, let's go ahead and skip that. Jimmy's league is in flux already. Go shout out to Q. Man, he'll get it together. All right, so the dude who killed Joe McKnight, former NFL player Joe McKnight, in a road rage incident, was he was sentenced to 30 years, and the jury voted 10-2 to give him second-degree murder instead of, first-degree murder. So he's gonna get 30 years. I think the guy's already like 56 years old, so he'll be old before he gets out, if he ever, gets back out.
Now I wonder how he feels considering it was road rage. Like road rage is the worst. Like you have no impulse control because now you got to sit around for 30 years and be like, yo, all it was like, like,
and this was silly. This wasn't just like he's next to me and we're beefing. Like witnesses say Joe McKnight was, swerving in and out of lanes on the highway, quote unquote, driving like a jerk. That's what his attorney said, driving like a jerk. But this dude followed him off of an exit because he was upset, and that's when they ended up getting into it. And they found out that he actually lied when he said Joe McKnight lunged at him before he shot him. So that's why I don't really know why he did first-degree murder. But
first degree, that's premeditated.
Yeah, because he didn't lunge at him. He tried to say it was in self-defense.
But dog, is it worth it? Like, that's my... Listen, man.
Not at all. Like, I'm not following anybody off the highway. Like, it's never that serious.
Dog, I'm a sucker these days, man, because I ain't getting in nobody. Unless you harm my family, I don't want no parts in this nonsense that's be going on out here. Like, I saw a young lady that got murdered in Philly.
I may or may not allegedly have a temper problem.
I'm gonna keep the buck, man. They don't have Netflix and pizza in the joint, so I can't go there.
Right. I don't know these days. Yeah. People in the joint be knowing too much. They be knowing more than I think they should. Like, how you watch?
Yeah, that's because they be on Twitter and Facebook.
True. But yeah, I can't. Like, first of all, I'm too cheap to follow somebody off the exit. That's extra gas. Like, what are we doing? Why am I chasing this dude off of the exit?
And at no time do you think to yourself like, I probably shouldn't be following this boy.
Yeah, especially because I'm strapped and we don't know what's gonna happen. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. Last thing that happened while y'all were on the grind, Floyd Mayweather has confirmed that he will soon begin his training to fight in the UFC. So Floyd is about to start his MMA training. Not sure what he has left to prove. I mean, I guess it's all about those dollars, but, he
wants attention.
I ain't trying to see Floyd get his block knocked off in the
He wants attention because my thing is
No B trying to see you get the block knocked off.
He wants attention. I don't think it's happening because he can make more money by just saying y'all have a boxing match. He can make more money by doing that than doing this.
And he's never seemed like I got something to prove type of dude. So yeah, you could just take another stiff in the boxing ring. Like, why do you have to go outside of your comfort zone? But he says, he said, I'm a better wrestler than people give me credit for. If I'm on a scale from 1 to 10, I think my wrestling skills right now are a 7. And he's going to be working with Tyron Woodley of the UFC. He said, working with him, I can get him up to a 9. He said, of course, on a scale of 1 to 10, my hands are 100. He said they're 100. And then he said on a scale of 1 to 10, his kick game is probably at a 4. So that's what he really, really needs to improve on. But he said he thinks his people are sleeping on him about this whole MMA thing. So, yeah, B is hopeful that Floyd jumps in the octagon and gets his block.
I am prayerful that the ground and pound. I know
there's several
wrong.
Feel like you do. So that's the only thing. Maybe if he doesn't do UFC, promotes it himself, and gets a license, because I could see that happening where it's not UFC, but it's like Money May presents. Because people like you who are the same thing you're saying right now, they'll pay for it. I mean, all three of us will probably pay for it.
Yo, that's a great point, because typically I don't pay for Money Mayweather events.
But you'll pay to see him get his block knocked off in the octagon.
$250 US.
And shout out to Shimmy the King, who got excited when we talked about the gambling. He said War Room Sportsbook. Shout out to the degenerate gamblers like myself.
No doubt.
So yeah,
we got you.
We holler at you next week. But and he
also
said
shout out, let your hands go.
Douglas is telling Howie to go out and get the players, and Howie does the numbers. That is Howie's strength, though. He is a numbers guy. So he definitely is a cap cruncher. So that could definitely be the case.
Can Howie
Jimmy, get some quick
figure
birthday
these numbers out on Floyd getting knocked out?
We get some quick birthday shout-outs, and when we get into the NBA segment, that's when we'll take these calls on the line. So if you're holding on the line, just hold for 2 more minutes, and we got you.
You already know. Quick birthday shout-outs. Kevin Youkilis turns 39. Salute to that gentleman. Louis Riddick, 49. Terry Cummings, salute to the Milwaukee Bucks legend Terry Cummings, 57. Clay Matthews, of the Matthews family, 62. Rest in power to Bobby Bonds, and also rest in power to the legend Norm Van Brocklin. We like to give a big word to these folks on their birthday or their birthday week. Salute to them.
Birthday, yay!
No doubt. And like I told you guys earlier, you can check out our website, warroomsports.com. Make sure you browse everything. We got some new articles up, and like I said, next week we'll have some new things up. If you'd like to put a little bit of money on the horses, if you'd like to put a little bit of money on the football, basketball, baseball, boxing, whatever. But if you want to call in and speak with us about any of today's topics, dial the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. The number's 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. And we will get at you right after Jimmy reads you this message from our sponsor.
Absolutely. It's time to talk about the NBA, and that wrap is brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom site solutions, Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. You get top-quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. And if you just want to put something on it, financing options are available. How to get more information? Here's how. DigitalExtremeTech.com, or you call 267-205-4203. Do not be out there with a Wix site playing yourself. Don't do it. Get you a custom website.
And that Triple H rap. No doubt. You want to take some calls first before we get into this?
Triggedy Ash.
I think the homie Rob from Cali hung up. We got I think we got the homie Naj on the line from down in the ATL. Naj, what's going on, good brother? You in the war room?
Hey man, like I don't know if I could get used to this. Like Eagles fans, just all relaxed and positive and whatnot.
No, right?
Y'all sound like, you know what I mean?
You used to hearing
like
them being all pessimistic.
Actor activities Newport. Like y'all just kidding, just cool. Like, this is
different,
right
man. This is much better for the stress levels, my brother. I'm loving it.
I'm gonna live. Yo,
you know what?
Nah, real talk, Nas. Because the Eagles won, I'm probably going to live long. Like that's probably good for my
but
life.
B, we got a lot of greedy Eagles fans out there.
Research project for some college student.
We got a lot of greedy. Oh, my bad. My bad.
No, I was gonna say some research for some college student, man. Do long-time hurt fans, when they get a chip, does that age group age longer than previous generations? That might be a legit study. You just raised.
They definitely.
Yo,
been following us.
Can you imagine what will happen if the Browns ever win a Super Bowl? Can you imagine? Oh my God.
Yeah, I can imagine the apocalypse is what's gonna happen. But listen.
For sure.
I'm like, there's a lot of greedy Eagles fans out there because I'm talking to people, and people talking about dynasty and all that. It would be nice for them to win again.
They need to chill.
But me,
they need
come
to
on,
chill.
man. I'm good for another 10, 15 years. I'm good. They don't owe me nothing. I'm good. I'm nice and relaxed. I saw it happen, and I'm not gonna get greedy with it. I'm not trying to. I don't have to be, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. But what's going on, Nazareth? What's up, man?
Hey, nothing, man. Y'all got some interesting topics like always, man. I think the Sam Bradford thing, though, I think people are kind of tripping. Like, look, Sam's, he's always hurt, of course, but if you keep him upright and he's healthy, he's one of the better quarterbacks out there. So why not take the scratch-off ticket and say, okay, give him the 20 for 1 year. If it works out, you still let him go. If it doesn't work out, you let him go. But, you might as well take the scratch-off ticket. The guys who should be criticized are the guys what's your man name from y'all brought him in?
Tom Savage.
Yeah, Tom Savage, and my man he was in New Orleans. Somebody just signed him the other day. Chase Daniels. He hasn't played.
Oh, Chase Daniels. Yeah, he did just get signed.
And he's got check on check on check. So it's like they're much worse guys, but the quarterback market got so bad because everybody started doing the same thing. And then you guys and the Vikings figured out, hey, let's just build up the roster until you get that quarterback. And that gave y'all the advantage from what we've seen last year. So we're going to see how many other teams realize, like, that bubble quarterback market, like, that's the wrong way to go. And the Vikings, made a big mistake.
And you're talking about the Bears. They brought in Chase Daniels, 2 years, $10 million. So you're right. He gets at least a $5 million bag every year to do nothing. Like, I don't even know if he can play. But he gets a bag, and he has this reputation of being one of the better backup quarterbacks. But, like, when have people really seen it, except for a little bit in Houston? But since then, he hasn't gotten on the field. But he gets a nice check every year.
Him and the McNown brothers, man, been running the NFL from that standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so that Bradford thing is a little rough. The Wilt thing y'all talked about, man, Wilt is like Paul Bunyan. So, I mean, at this point, I could be persuaded to believe any of the Wilt stories, man. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
He was that guy.
Well, we got strong arm into believing it from Sonny Hill, Philadelphia legend.
The craziest thing about the story, Nas, is after he did that, he went and had some coital exercise with at least 3 more women. After that, that's what you got to understand. That's part of Bill's greatness.
Yeah, we're a comic book character, man. Like, yeah, we just fun with it, man. Forget it. Tell the stories even larger, man. I'm with it. But, well, yeah, man, it's crazy about this free agency thing. If you didn't have a salary cap, this is how the owners would spend anyway, because they're all reckless and ridiculous, and the salary cap is the only thing stopping them from doing it. But, yeah, they're throwing bags around like crazy. Doesn't matter fit scheme or anything else, and they're going to regret it in a year or so and be cutting people. Grand opening, grand closing. So.
No doubt.
Same story.
No doubt.
But yeah, wherever y'all want to go, man. You know what I mean? I was coming in late, but whatever y'all want to go.
All right. Well, I mean, you can stay on. You can stay on with us if you want. We're about to talk some hoop. Not really hoops. We got a question, yeah, because we want to get your opinion on this too. Jimmy, where you at?
My fault, man. I was on I was muted, man. I didn't want to say nothing while the brother was spitting his bars. But anyway, man, in 15 years, right? I found this interesting. In 15 years, B. Austin's favorite player of all time, LeBron Raymond James, he averages more rebounds than Kevin, the Big Ticket Garnett, Shaquille Rashawn O'Neal, and the GOAT Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So here's the question about the statistic, right? Is this misleading, meaningless, or is it a legit stat that LeBron has more rebounds than arguably three of the top 20 players of all time?
Well, we got this. This was a stat that Shannon Sharp apparently said on his show. This is another one of those. So when these type of stats come up, either Nick Wright or Shannon Sharp said it. So I think you can put it a little bit into each category, Jimmy. Misleading, meaningless, and a little bit of legitimacy to it. Misleading in the fact that he does average more rebounds, slightly more rebounds. Like we're talking like 7.4 to 7.3 in some of these cases, to Shaq, KG, and Kareem. Now Kareem, he was of advanced age in his 15th season. So you always have to factor in the fact that LeBron came straight out of high school. So did Kevin Garnett. So that's, if we're talking age and time, that's pretty much a fair comparison. Also, what they leave out when they just throw out these naked stats, what I like to call them, is the fact that LeBron is averaging 37 minutes per game this season, whereas in their 15 seasons, Shaq was averaging like 29, KG was averaging 28, Kareem was averaging 33. Another thing, two of these guys are pure centers. They were in the league at a more physical time, so the wear and tear on their bodies, in my opinion, was a lot worse than LeBron because he really doesn't rent out space down on the block too often. But on the other side of things, I think you still have to give LeBron props for being able to play 37 minutes a game in his 15th season, while at the same time never really he hasn't been seriously injured at any point in his career. So I don't know if that's just because he's just so much of a greater athlete than everybody else. I don't know if that's HGH. I don't know what it is. But you do have to give him props in the legitimacy
I'm going to surprise our listeners.
Because
I'm going to go ahead and say that
he plays 37
it's impressive. It's impressive when you combine it with the context around the minutes that he plays, the fact that he really is a perimeter player, and, it definitely is shameful that Shaq, Rashawn O'Neal, at 7'4" and 369 million pounds, could ever average only single-digit rebounds. Shaq should be over 10 rebounds right now in the league. He should be averaging.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna give Brian props.
I'm disappointed. Yo, Shaq should be averaging 10 rebounds in the league right now. Even though he's not playing.
Really,
and it's
shameful. You think it's an impressive stat, or is it meaningless? Is it misleading?
I mean, it's interesting, but I wouldn't hold it up as like some great find by them. Shaq is carrying a whole lot of weight too. We got to throw that out there. That's a whole lot of weight carried around game in, game out. And so we knew how much he took off or kind of, ease back on the throttle. Then the other part is, who were those guys playing with and sharing rebounds with in the front court? Because that kind of distributes the averages a little bit differently than what we consider now, where the 4 and 5 is getting most of the rebounds.
Did they even have to play big minutes?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Systems
'cause
were
I'm
different
playing
too.
with
The
Magic
system,
and, some of these other
system
guys
you
were
playing?
getting their share of the rebounds. And then we got to remember the Isaiah Thomas. Say what you want about Isaiah's raggedy tenure in Cleveland. Him bringing up again that LeBron doesn't like to practice, which eases a lot of wear and tear on his body that other players have to get because, hell, teams need to practice for cohesion and, getting their sets good and everything else. And LeBron kind of, eases back on that, and it kind of hurts the team to a degree, when it comes to playoff time and everything else because, hey, man, the sets just ain't that good.
Also,
say what you want to say. But
I mean,
with
this all,
we're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about
I'm saying he's supposed to be the franchise player, and we sitting here talking about.
No, but Dev, what this boils down to is the conversation kind of we had last week about context. There's so much context to this because first of all, you talk about the league right this second and last year. There's more field goal attempts. The way the game is played has changed, so there's more field goal attempts now than when Shaq was playing. The field goal attempts were a little bit close to high when Kareem played, when the game was at a fast pace in the early 80s, but the field goal attempts dropped through like KG Shaq and it went back up. But there's systems that people play in. Kareem being a post player and the first option. It's so much context to the statistic. But at the same time, it is impressive that he's able to grab these boards. You have to tell the whole story, and that's the issue that we all talk about analytics.
That's why I call them naked stats to me, because people just throw out these stats, but they don't talk about any context surrounding the stats, and
with not just that too. Bron has also played in the era where everybody's jacking up threes.
Long rebound.
It's a different type of shot too. Exactly. So this
because it's not like he's out there boxing out his life away to get a bunch of rebounds.
Yeah.
The rebounds are coming to the foul line these days because everybody's launching. So it's so much that goes in.
It's so much with that.
But these are the type of stats, for the most part, we're four objective brothers here, and we speak about things objectively. But when you see these kind of stats, whoever put them out there, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's positive, they're putting it out there because they love the player and they're trying to prove a point. If it's something negative, they hate the player and they're trying to prove a point. So either way, it's just going to be a naked stat. No kind of context surrounding it, so that's why we got to have these conversations, man. Because you got to realize you can't just say stuff and that's just it. Oh, he averaged more rebounds than them, and there has to be something else to it. But another thing, Jim, and this is an alley-oop
if I can add real quick, think about we're watching Russell Westbrook right now. In 20 years, when people see average a triple-dub and see the numbers, the rebounds that we see where people are boxing out on his team and giving them to him, that context won't be there. It'll just be Russ with, that dude, and he was grabbing those boards like crazy. Hell, DeJounte Murray on the Spurs, that dude is 7 boards a game somehow. And I think that long rebound is there.
Because I was impressed with Russell Westbrook. I mean, the fact that a point guard, Oscar was a point guard too, but the fact that a point guard was the one to accomplish the feat that they thought we'd never see again. But I can't even front and say it's not diminished a little bit because it seemed like everybody and their mom getting triple-doubles now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got rookies. Ben Simmons got 7 triple-doubles as a rookie. I mean, he's a bigger player who's playing the point guard, so maybe you can understand that, but it just seems like it's too easy to get these days. You know what I mean? Ricky Davis had to throw a ball at his own basket to try to get one. But now dudes are just rattling them off like it's easy. So, yeah, it's something to it. But, Jim, what part do y'all think, just the modern amenities that come with being a NBA basketball player, what part do y'all think that plays in it? Like the medicine, the modern training, the way these guys are coddled, the way these guys eat? Do y'all think that has something to do with, the fact that LeBron in year 15 can do the type of stuff that he does?
I mean, that's an advantage. Technology, how training is changed. I mean, everything. I mean, when you look down to even
TJ McConnell getting triple double, no doubt.
Yeah, he's looking down to their nutrition, their diets, modern medicine, the technology used in their gear.
The Sixers got
it's a lot of that.
A personal chef.
Yeah,
right.
They have a personal chef from a high post restaurant who left that restaurant to come to the Sixers and run a restaurant in their training facility where he's making these dudes very healthy, very nutritional meals, including what Jimmy said earlier. What is it? The buckwheat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's the name of them
all kinds of crazy, man. Like
when you look at that, when you look at the diet and the way that training has advanced, it has to play a factor into the game. Because even when you look at injuries, there's several injuries that occur nowadays. Like when you get an ACL now, he was like, "Oh, you got an ACL, you sprained something." This ACL
be a career
in 6-7 months. ACL used to be, "Oh man, he's done." And when you popped an Achilles, they used to just put you to death. All right, we got to take him out the pasture.
Send you to the glue factory.
Like a horse. And now guys come back.
The sleep studies that they do now, and like y'all said, the nutrition, leg room on the plane, be a godsend to all players. The idea that you're now on a legit private plane with air, really room and everything else to move around. And then I think ownership now looks at players as an investment and an asset as opposed to back in the day where you just run somebody into the ground. Look, I gave you $1 million. I'll get out there and play 40 minutes a game. And now
they definitely do.
Players like, whoa. We invested in
Jimmy sent us
guys.
an article the other day about the hotel accommodations for NBA players. They're not used to living that type of lifestyle.
They're called human capital. Bill Russell used to have things thrown at him. He couldn't eat in half the restaurants. And now you got guys out there eating alkaline buckwheat noodles on a daily basis. Guys that can't even play, like Jared Bayless, but that's either here nor there. So, I mean, all of that matters.
Whatever they have, Jim, in that
first class stuff. Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I was just saying whatever they have available in that cafeteria in Philly's new training facility, like those guys can go to the chef and get custom ordered stuff. If they they can just waste whatever food's out there and get what they want and what they like for game day and all that kind of stuff. What were you saying, Nash?
Yeah, I was just going to say, can you imagine being on a 10-day and being in all those first-class accommodations and then having to get back on that bus in the G League? Dude, man,
I just quit. Kill myself. I'm like, I ain't doing this, man. I've seen the light. I've been to the mountaintop. I'm not doing this again.
Get on that bus.
But, Naj, man, we about to get out of here. So thanks for joining us for the last few minutes of the show, man. We appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Y'all.
All right, no doubt. We'll holler at you next week.
All right, Naj.
Yeah, that's a good point. I ain't getting back on that bus, yo. I don't care how much Gatorade y'all give me.
Shout out to all everybody out there who bang with them alkaline buckwheat noodles. You already know.
Shout out to
about
Jared
the alkaline
Bayless,
buckwheat
man.
noodle, like.
Eat well, my dude.
Yeah, man, it's definitely time to get it, though. Brothers and sisters, for joining us for another briefing in the war room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, in our group app, which I'm having an argument right now with Casey Mack because he won't listen, man. I did the mathematics, B. Anyway, special thanks to Gus Griffin for joining us with his NCAA tournament report. Tune in next week live right here on demand. We'll catch you up with everything happening around the world of sports, including the coverage of the tournament. So make sure you check back. So until then, enjoy your weekend and week. We'll see you right back here. Remember, everything we do, all of our social media, all of our shows, everything is at the hub, which is warroomsports.com. You can pick up my book, which is thebook.com, or right at the hub at warroomsports.com. So until next time, everybody, do not accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chunks inside.
Jimmy, know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. OneRoomSports.com. Get that mobile sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Worth it, secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, DJ, Doc Beck, Lee Austin. I'm Jock. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.